So you've heard about the new state marine aquaculture policy dashboard, and you're here and you're likely wondering, now what do I do? So in this short video walkthrough, I'm just going to uh, show you a few of the different ways that you can interact with the data that is available on the dashboard. So this is showing the landing page. This is the default view for the dashboard. This is the most interactive part of the dashboard and may be a little overwhelming to users that are coming here for the first time and may not yet be fully familiar with all of the information that is in the dashboard. I'm going to start and talk about this interactive feature, but know that we'll get to the other ways that you can navigate with the data that might be a better entry point than this first screen. So hold on, we'll get to that. But this is the way that you can kind of filter down and explore what states have different policy attributes. And these are what we call our dynamic filters. And you want to start with chart 1, and you have 8 different policy attributes that you can choose from. So just looking at this, say, you are interested in what states have comprehensive legislation for aquaculture. So you click on that and you see this box changed, right? So it's going to give you this data. It is showing that 11 states do not have comprehensive legislation. 3 states have comprehensive legislation, but without marine provisions. And then the rest of the states have comprehensive legislation with marine provisions. So that kind of gives you some basic information. And the chart down here kind of shows the states that, well, it will in a second. So none of this has been selected. And if you notice, these are independent. So you need to now decide what you want to explore more. So you can click on, yes, I want to see what states have that. So you just have these 9 states, and you notice the map changed and showed with that. And now you can go, if you want to, and add another layer. So let's say I'm curious what states have comprehensive legislation and aquaculture siting tools. So this will say out of those 9 states over here, 6 do have siting tools and 3 don't. So let's say I'm going to click on yes. So now we've narrowed it down to 6 states. And you can come over here and you can stop there if you want. You just want to look at those like 6 states that have comprehensive legislation and siting tools. And now you know where to start. But do you also want to look at training programs? And you've got 4 states that have comprehensive legislation, aquaculture siting tools, and training policies. And that has completely filtered off the map. So if you want to dig in further, you now have a subset of states that you can look at to explore, are there programs related to these 3 categories the same? Are there, different similarities or categories, that you want to look at? But no, and this is as deep into the data that you can get on this page. It's just a way to explore the policy attributes, compare or visualize across states what states have the different policy tools, but it won't take you anywhere if you click on the states. So it's just a starting point visualization tool. If you're curious into, digging into the details through a similar interactive map, you can go to our policy specific dashboards. Here, we've kind of pre-loaded a number of policy attributes into these different categories, which we hope will be interesting to explore and a little easier to navigate. So, say you're interested in tribal authority. So you click on that and, see it's a similar map that we had on the home page, and there's a couple of different categories of policy attributes that are included in the database. If you hover over the eye icon, it will give you information about what these attributes are. So for tribal consultation, that means there's requirements in that state to consult with local tribe or tribal authority regarding proposed mariculture activities. Right now, nothing is selected. The map is just showing all of the states in the database. But if we click on that, I'm interested in the states that have a tribal consultation, there are 3 of them. And it will also show that none of those states have a tribal leasing requirement or tribal approval, because now you've like toggled that off and those are interacting. But on this page, when you hover over the state, you will get information about those policy attributes. So these pages allow you to dig in a little deeper into the data than the interactive map on the home page does. And then if you want to get back to that page and explore a different box, you can do that through the icon that I showed. And so capacity building is about, how states provide incentives or help farmers get into the industry, by providing, pilot leasing, where you maybe don't have to lease as much land as you would for a fully operational farm, or training programs. So that's the second way that you can navigate. If you, and if you want to just go back to the home page, you can, like that. And then if you say you're just interested in one state, so you're like, I don't want to do all this interaction, I just want to find out what's happening in Georgia. So to do that, you would come down here to the policy detail links. Click on that. You'll see the same boxes that were on the previous page, but now you've got a drop-down menu for each state. So you can go and navigate to Georgia, pick Georgia, and then say, well, I'm interested in what Georgia has for legislation and regulations. Click on that box, and now you're no longer in a map feature. Now you are looking at some of the details of the Georgia State program. And these are hyperlinks that will take you out to resources, whether it is the state website, for aquaculture regulation and licensing, or to the actual code provisions for that. So the state policy level details are, that's a different way to interact with the data as well. If you just want to explore what each state has, and then you can use these arrow buttons to toggle through our main categories of policy attributes. So management authority, spatial management tools. And if the box is blank, that means the state doesn't have anything in that category. And then if you want, then you can return to the map view for that particular attribute, right? With that. And then finally, the fourth way you can get to our data, like if you don't want to deal with any of these interactive maps, you just want to see what our data is, then you just click down here and navigate to the supporting data table. And that will take you to our spreadsheet. That is what is feeding the dashboard. And it is read only, so you can't edit or, interact with this information, but you would be able to download it if you would rather just have the supporting data and, kind of play around with the Excel spreadsheet. And finally, I wanted to talk about the composite keys. This is another one of our kind of pre-loaded ways to interact with the data. This is probably more of interest to maybe academic researchers or individuals that are really interested in a particular type of policy. There are 3 different composite keys, one for environmental safeguards, one for spatial management tools, and one for industry tools and resources. And if you pick environmental safeguards, it's designed to kind of illustrate how many particular policies in these 3 categories states have. So this composite key looks at native species requirements, species moratoriums, genetic requirements, aquaculture, best management practices, and bonding requirements, which we felt kind of all went together as an indicator of environmental safeguards in a state's aquaculture program. And so as the state goes from blue to green, that just simply means that they have one or more of those different policy features. And it just is a different way to look at it, see how states are comparing. You can see with the environmental safeguards, there's a lot of different colors, more of a, diversity than with something with industry resources, where we have more states in the green, which means more states have more industry tools and resources. So there's, less diversity with respect to those two. So I hope you found this helpful. Please reach out to us if you're starting to interact and you got questions or you're confused. We also have a user guide, which is on our project webpage. And we definitely encourage you, if you're new to the dashboard, to review the user guide for the dashboard instructions, which we think will really help with your navigation of the site. Thank you.